Cal, thanks for coming on, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having me, mate.
Been a couple of weeks. England have just played on the weekend. They played Malta, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I weren't too. I actually didn't watch all the game. I sort of watched the first half and then just a bit boring, really, innit? Watching these sort of games where they don't mean much. We've qualified.
it's, it's a difficult one because it does obviously mean something, and it's also a chance for Gareth Southgate to have a look at other players. But
That's it.
it is so boring. Like it's like the players know it's not anything. Um, it literally looks like a Prem side is playing like a step three side. And it's like they just know, and it's like, oh right, we'll just knock it around. They look disinterested, and it's not really anything exciting to watch. I mean, our second goal was actually quite decent, Kane's goal.
Yeah,
But other than that, it's just like that. It was boring the life out of me.
yeah, mate. I didn't even reach that time when he scored. What must have been like 70 odd minutes or so.
Yeah, around about then, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't even I didn't even get that far. That's the thing with them games. You never know whether to do you play your strongest team and sort of get them used to playing with each other for the Euros,
Mm.
which we've got in next year, or is it a chance to use them fringe players to see if anyone can push for the starting 11?
So difficult, isn't it? Because it's so different to club football, in terms of always using your best players and stuff like that. But like, I feel like Gareth Southgate has his starting 8 or 9 players definitely.
Yeah,
It's these type of games to really find them 2 or 3 really, to really like finalize that squad. I mean, there's so many English players, especially young English players now that should be in the squad for the Euros as well. It's going to be a tough decision for him to make.
yeah. Like every camp now, there's players that are legitimately being left out that should or could easily be in the squad. So
Exactly.
there's
Yeah.
so many fighting for that.
There's
That
always
like,
controversy.
sorry, say that again.
There's always controversy as well from like when the squad gets picked on like who's been left out or who's been put in it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it, looking at it that way. These games are good to see, to try and see if they can make their way into the starting 11. But now I think we've got one more. We've got one more camp before the Euros. After this,
I think so, yeah. And then there's like the early friendlies before in there, and then that's it.
yeah. So for me, like that last camp before the Euros, I don't really want to be testing too many new like English squad members out. I want to be getting our starting team flowing and nice and playing well. I know we've got the friendlies before, but so this is really the last chance for me to look at these players. Like, I don't know, who do we just bring in? I know Tomori got a start. Mark Gay's been in it a few times now. Does he get a shout at centre half? Maybe.
Even like players like Cole Palmer as well. Like,
Yeah,
um,
Konsa.
is he gonna go? Yeah, Konza. He's not realistically. He's nice, good, but is he gonna go over Mark Gahey, Stones, Maguire, even Lewis Dunk? Like,
Yeah,
is it really like?
I
Is it
know. And another,
charity donation that one?
yeah, it is, isn't it? Another thing as well, you've got to think about getting these players fit, let alone who we want to choose out of them. You've got to get all the best ones fit for that time, haven't you? So you've got to be careful.
Exactly, and then it's that going back to that old one is like of, do you bring the players for experience? Your players like your Hendersons, really, your Sterlings, or do you bring people like Rico Lewis, who I think is an absolute brilliant player, and I think
Unbelievable.
he should be in the squad just to, even if he doesn't play, just to be there for the next ones. Do you go that route? I don't know.
Yeah, Rico Lewis is a big shout. Like, I love Rico Lewis, and like you said, you've got to, if you just keep picking the players with experience, then the new players are never going to get any experience, are they? So
Definitely.
you've got to finding that happy medium, I suppose. But
I've,
what you just said, sorry, Cal, what you just said with Sterling being out, what's your thoughts on that? Sterling being left out of the squad when Sterling's done more in an England shirt than big names like Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes. He has really, isn't it? He's taken
yeah,
us further, scored more important goals.
he was our best player by a mile.
Yeah,
That
he was, wasn't
he was the best. He was the best player. He probably could have won player of the tournament if we won that Euros. He probably would have won player of the tournament.
he? Yeah,
But with Sterling, he's always been criminally underrated, throughout his whole career. Like, the geezer's a Man City legend. He's scored over 100 goals in the Premier League. I saw a crazy stat actually regarding his stats under Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
So top 3 scorers under Pep when he's managed has been Messi number 1, Aguero number 2, Sterling number 3.
That's outrageous, isn't it? When you
And then top assisters is De Bruyne number 1, Messi number 2, and then Sterling number 3.
So he's behind the 3 biggest hitters of world football, pretty much.
Yeah, and he just gets disregarded.
I know he does. He's one of them. He's one of them easy players to hate, isn't he? Because some people question his they question his attitude, whether it's about him or the team, and then he can go like he started poor for Chelsea, but like he never failed for England.
Started that poor for Chelsea, or have Chelsea just been poor? Like
yeah, that's it. Yeah, Chelsea just been poor
because he had that spell of a couple of games where he was like on fire, pulling Chelsea through the games, and obviously Chelsea died off a little bit, but then he's been at the forefront for them coming back. He's been a proper threat. He was a threat against City, definitely. And yeah,
he's actually been lively all season, really, in patches, isn't he? He's been there. He probably has been their standout player, him and Gallagher.
But yeah, exactly. But because Chelsea are doing bad, it's all Sterling's fault.
Yeah, so I mean, he's an easy target.
He's always been picked on. I mean, that whole situation about that tattoo on his leg. Like he's always been a target for the media to pick on him, and it's not nice, obviously. But once they do it once, they get the leeway to do it however many times they want.
Of course. I mentioned Gallagher. Would you put him in your starting 11 for the Euros?
No, not my starting 11. Nah.
No. Who would you start midfield 3 then? Because for me, the 2 are definitely in there are Jude and Rice. But then is it Maddison you squeeze in?
No, I put Bellingham in the 10, and then I'll have.
Yeah, so would I. Bellingham.
I'd have Rice. You could either go Gallagher because he's been better, but then also Phillips, but then also like it won't happen. But I would love to see Rico Lewis playing in that left back role, inverted into net. I think that would be like really good for the future. But I don't think he will do that. I think he will stay with 2, and I think it will be Phillips and Rice. But they're similar players, Gallagher and Phillips. But I just feel like Gallagher has that more off the ball energy.
Yeah.
But I'd rather Phillips on the ball, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So Phillips is more secure on the ball, and he seems a bit more like I feel safer with him at the ball his feet. I feel like he will form Phillips for the tougher games when he with England. I think it makes a big difference who we're playing. If we're playing the Germanys and the Spains, then it will be Phillips. But then maybe, like you said, if we're playing like who are we playing tonight? North Macedonia. We're filming this Monday. Stick Rico Lewis in there, and he'll run the show, won't he?
Yeah, I would love to see Rico Lewis just get a solid amount of time, not 30 minutes towards the end, because he's not that type of player. He's not in that position to really make a 10-minute impact. He needs a bit of longevity. So I would like to see him play. To be fair, I feel like it would do everyone good because I don't think there's any pressure on him. He's that good. He's that good. I don't think anyone will look at him and go, "Oh no, what's he going to do?" Like he'll slot right in and no one will even notice.
100%. If Pep trusts him, I trust him. So
exactly.
Right, we'll speak about England midfielders. We'll give our top 10 English midfielders. So centre mids, holding midfield, and like attacking midfield. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got one iffy one. I don't know if you'll class one.
Yeah, I know it's the same. Phil Foden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you think I'm saying he's a midfielder because I don't know. Yeah. He's more like an inverted winger, isn't he?
Yeah. I've put him in, but I said I'd actually put next to it like if he played more in the number 10, he'd probably be 1 or 2 spaces, well, 1 space higher, I'd say. So I've put him one space down of what I would do because he plays on the wing a lot as well, doesn't he? It's hard to.
Yeah, but positions nowadays they're not really. So.
Yeah, exactly. So right, what should we do? Should we go 10 to 1? Or should we just...
Yeah, you can just go one after another.
Yeah, okay. So I'll go 10 to 1. Right. So 10, I've got Morgan Gibbs-White.
Nice.
9, I've got Phillips.
Yep.
8, I've got Rico Lewis. Again, just because I think he's just a joke. Like I do think he'll be.
Yeah.
I think in like a year's or 2 years' time he'll be right at the top. To be honest.
Yeah.
7, I've got Gallagher. 6, James Ward-Prowse. 5, Eze. 4, Foden. 3 Rice, 2 Maddison, and 1 Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
Any?
No,
go on. You say yours.
Who did you say you went? Your first 3? Did you say?
What? 10, 9, 8?
Yeah.
So I've gone Morgan, Gibbs, White 10.
Yeah.
Rico Lewis, Phillips. I went 9 in the end. I switched them, and then Rico Lewis 8.
Yeah. See, even though what we just spoke about having Phillips, I ain't put him in.
That's what I mean. Because it is a tricky one because he will start for England, so you'd think he'd be in the top, at least like up there with the England midfielders. But for City, he's pretty shit.
Yeah, I also feel like position-wise, we have so many attacking players which have to be.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so I've gone Morgan Gibbs White 10 as well. I think he's quality. Actually, before that, I say I haven't got any Harvey Elliott or Curtis Jones. I don't watch enough of Liverpool to say.
No, a lot of people would put them in though, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I know they're good, but I don't watch them enough to really say. So I've got Gibbs White 10. I've gone 9 Mason Mount.
Oh mate, I completely forgot about Mason Mount.
He hasn't even.
I would put him in.
He hasn't even been good for United, but he's 24 years old and he's won the Champions League. He was Chelsea's best player for the past couple of years. He's not rubbish. Like he hasn't lost it. I've gone. So that's 9 Mount, 8 Gallagher, 7 James Ward-Prowse, 6 Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Fucking hell, 6. To be fair,
he's a Rolls Royce of a player when he plays to his level.
Yeah, it's like for me, it's because I've not watched him. It's like out of sight, out of mind again. Like, I just didn't even think of him.
Yeah, I've only watched him in the Champions League, but he's that midfielder we've been actually needing next to Rice. That one up and down, and I really do hope Southgate looks over.
Why don't he get a shout?
Similar to Tomori, really. He plays in Italy, human. But the Geese are playing Champions League in a very good team, in a very hard group as well, and they're doing all right. Anyway, then I got 5th Eze, 4th Foden, 3rd Rice, 2nd Maddison, Bellingham 1st.
Yeah, that's pretty solid then.
I think that is pretty much self-explanatory. You can flip maybe 1 or 2 around, but Bellingham's 1st and then the 2nd, 3rd and 4th.
So, did you have Gallagher anywhere?
Yes, I had him 8th.
Yeah, okay. But just no James Ward-Prowse.
Form this season, I'd say.
Yeah, defo, 100%.
He really has improved like massively, and I think he's also built up a lot of more respect for himself as well as a player. Just I think solely because how hard he works, but also he's been quite instrumental
in the Chelsea team. Yeah, yes. So no James Ward-Prowse for you.
Yeah, I put him after. I put him 7th. I put Lost.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mate. I think he didn't even get a call up, did he?
Again, like we say about that certain midfield position, it's really tough to fit him in. Like, yeah. I don't, because he's not a holding midfielder, but he's not. He can be a 10, but I don't know. It's a weird one with him. I mean, I would love to have him in the squad, but there's so many players in and around that position that offer other things as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and because he sort of does a bit of everything. If we played him in that, like where Phillips would play, we don't really need his attacking attributes. So then his defensive ones are still because they're still average in England terms. He's not really. Do you know what I mean? You can have Phillips who's better defensively, more solid probably, and then we don't need his attacking attributes really, do we?
Yeah.
I heard that Southgate saying in interviews like that's pretty much the reason why he didn't pick him was because he just the style of football we're playing in England and the positions we've got. I can't fit him in.
Yeah, and it is tough. I mean, what's he only got? 23 players, 26 players, whatever.
23 for the Euros, yeah.
Yeah, 23. Like, it's tough. You've probably got about 5 midfielders, central midfielders max.
Yeah.
It's like people don't realise how refined it has to be. And I feel like James Ward-Prowse is so refined in his position that it's kind of tough to put him in because he doesn't offer as much as what other people can offer.
Yeah, defo. I'm actually like because I completely forgot about who you mentioned, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. If he picks up some form or like gets somehow creates a bit of attention around his name, I think he could even be a starter. He actually could.
Yeah. I mean, him next to Rice with Bellingham in front. I mean, that'd be insane.
Yeah.
And two, that'd be probably one of the best looking midfield three that we've ever had.
You put Rice in there, yeah, he'll take that, I reckon.
He's all right. He does all right.
Yeah. And then another one as well, Eze. Like Eze would be probably the 8 as well, maybe the 10.
Yeah,
I can't see him starting, but
backup 10. He'd be my backup 10. I think I'd play Foden off the right or left with either Saka or Rashford. But Eze, mate, he's so creative. He's that bit of flair we don't have. I feel like we've missed players like, or we haven't had players like him.
Yeah, for a while.
It's similar to like that Joe Cole kind of like flair that we missed out on years back.
And he's someone we can afford to not start, and he can impact off the bench, can't he? We don't need to have him starting.
Yeah, and he's not going to cause much uproar from other fans and England fans. So I feel like if he went, it would be another one to consider. I feel like the whole 23-man squad, like we're going in strong. Like there really is going to be tough to look at that squad and go, oh, I wouldn't have him. Oh, I wouldn't have him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we have. When I was making this, we got actually our midfield is a joke. Like we've got so many good midfield players, so many young midfield players as well. That we are in a good position, but again, it's just picking the right ones.
Exactly.
We'll leave any big ones missed out. I'm trying to think. Henderson's obviously not mentioned.
I can't stand him.
You don't like him, do you? I don't mind Henderson. I think he's a good player.
One performance is in my head, and if you don't know how he played, is the semi-final against Croatia in the World Cup. His performance when he came on is up there with one of the worst. Like he'd probably get subbed off at step 4, non-league, no banter. Like, bro, he was hoofing it every time. He was just turning it. He was hooking it, and there was no one up there. And I'm watching it. Oh, but if you got honestly, if people listening or yourself who ain't seen it, just watch Jordan Henderson highlights versus Croatia.
Yeah. The semi-final?
Semi-final of the World Cup.
Yeah.
He's abysmal.
I can't imagine Henderson playing. What club's the step 4? Let's list it. Give me 2 names.
Well, Cray Valley versus Charlton.
Cray Valley. So you reckon he's getting subbed off?
Mate, he was hooking it, mate. Even if he's playing for my team right now and he's hooking it, I'm having to go at half time saying, mate, please just take your time on the ball.
Yeah, he's still getting picked, but I mean, apparently all the other players that play with him, they do say he brings a lot off the ball to the team, even when he's on the pitch, not just like around the change room.
Yeah. So, don't get twisted. He's a great leader, and he was a captain for Liverpool for a reason. Won the Champions League, Premier League. He's won pretty much everything. But I just feel like footballing ability, there are so many better players.
No, I do agree, and you want to bring through the younger ones now. Unless he was starting, you don't. There's no point having him on the bench, really, is there?
I can't have him starting. No, I'd rather not play a single game than Henderson play Saudi League and start. Do you know what I mean?
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. We'll leave England talk.
Cool.
Actually, last thing, they're playing North Macedonia tonight. What do you reckon a score?
Depends what team we put out. If we put a full strength team out, like to give them a run out and to see how they work, it should be like 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
If it's a hit and miss team, I think it could be just another 1-0, 2-0.
Another boring one, yeah. I agree, mate. I think it'll be another like 2-0, but
it's just weird, the dynamic of when we do play like a hit and miss team with new players. I don't know if they're nervous or anything. No, I can't blame them if they would be because they're playing for England, but it's still like,
yeah,
it's like it just doesn't look right. It looks so like unnatural.
I know what you mean. I think people do underestimate though how difficult it is to go from playing with the same players week in, week out, and then if you're playing with a New England team where they've never played together, the first few games, it is tough to like get on the same wavelength, isn't it?
It is, especially at that high level when you've got them patterns of play and the styles and how you want to work it. It can really make it quite difficult.
Yeah, definitely, mate. We'll leave England. Did you hear the news about Everton getting their 10 points deducted?
Yeah, I saw that, and even though I hate Everton, they're always a United's bogey team. That I can't feel a bit. They're like they've been a bit done by.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it seemed like the first I heard of it, the points had already been deducted like straight away, and then I'm thinking, hold up a minute, wasn't it like at the start of the season that City had their financial fair play rules, like they messed up a bit, and they've got nothing deducted, have they? They're still like investigating.
Yeah, I mean, City have. There's two ways of looking at it for me. Really, is like City have got 115 allegations. Like, one part of me going, how on earth have they got away with not even the suspension or points dropped or whatever? But then again, it's also they've got to go through all 115 individual to get it sorted. They can't just like halfway through just drop points because, and then after it's like, oh no, we should not have done that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then is it not like if they go through the first couple and they realise it's legit that they can just do it regardless, or do the more because there's 115? Does that mean they'll lose a lot more points or more money? Or
well, I think if they're losing a lot more, well, even if they they get like 10 out of 115, it's going to be like a massive, like a more controversial deduction, if that makes sense, like relegation kind of vibes.
Yeah, mate. Fucking imagine that. Imagine if they Man City get relegated. To me, though, it does seem like, I don't know. It just seems something seems a bit dodgy about it. That City are this big club with loads of money, and their allegations have been held off and still investigating, and then Everton, a smaller club, less money, or just getting whacked on them straight away.
Yeah, I feel I can't help but feel like something beyond the scenes is provoking.
That's what I'm saying.
Like we said, City big club, loads of money. Also, when they had them allegations before, did you see how many lawyers they hired? Like the 100 lawyers in the world, all about what. Like, no way you're beating them. Like, there's no way. Even City if they've got them all these allegations, there's no way they're getting done because they have so much firepower back, and it's just they'll just prolong it and kill it over time, and then the FA and people just give up on it. And people like teams like Everton, they can't do that. And they've got
they ain't got the financials for it, and money.
Exactly.
If you've got enough money, unlimited, pretty much, you can do what you want.
Exactly.
You can get away with murder.
They've got one allegation, so the FA have to do one thing, like one project. It's not like killing all their time. And to be fair, 10 points is quite steep, I thought, as well.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was steep as well. I agree, and I looked at the table. I'm pretty sure they've already taken it into account. So I think Everton are now 19th.
Yeah,
with 4 points.
I think, to be fair, I think that's just all it can do is spur Sean Dyche and Everton on, especially fans as well. I've seen the reaction on Twitter with their fans just saying how that they're not going to back down and they're going to keep going. And that, to be fair, I think they're quite lucky it's happened this year because I think the three teams that could go down are way worse than them anyway.
Yeah,
like your Sheffields, your Burnleys, your Lutons. I don't think they've got any chance.
Yeah, no, mate. I think they've been. It's good that it's happened. Like in the first half of the season as well. I think Sheffield United are 18th. They're on 5 points, so they're only 1 point ahead.
Yeah.
So they can still get out of it. I don't think Everton will get relegated.
No, I don't think they will, and I think they'll get through it. But being a United fan, it's their first game after the international break is against United, and I just know for a fact we're going to get absolutely battered.
Yeah, you've hit it at the wrong time, and they're going to be right up for it.
We've had new manager bounce, but now they've got the 10 point deduction bounce, and it's just going to hit hard.
What a bounce that is! You're going to get battered.
Yeah, we are, especially with all the injuries we're getting. I've also, just another thing, United are the most unlucky team in the world at the moment. How's our goalie getting injured on international break now? We've got about 15 players out.
Oh, mate, speaking of injuries, actually, we I think you brought this up to me. It was 100 Premier League players are injured all at the same time.
I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's, I think, just over 100 Premier League players are registered as injured. Which is beyond like crazy. That's way too much, and it brings it down to obviously the managers talking about the schedule. And is it too much? I feel like a lot of people give players stick about saying, "Oh, it's only football," but it takes a toll on your body. That constant training every day, the games you play, like it affects physically, and it's showing like in the stats for the people getting injured.
Yeah, mate, I agree. I think there's two parts to it. I think the schedule is ridiculous, especially for the higher teams, like the top 6, let's say the European teams. And then also, I do feel like I've probably like the last five years, maybe a bit more. There's been more of a push for like doing your extras in the gym, doing a bit more outside of football off season and just take. I know they look after themselves better, but they also try and push their bodies even further. Do you know what I mean? They're really pushing it like to the absolute max. They want to get the best out of it, and I feel like that could be another reason why there's just so many more injuries now.
Yeah, I mean, there's always trying to be people trying to make everyone better behind the scenes, like your sports physios, your sports scientists, your gym people, and obviously they're trying to do it for the positive vibe, but it can take a negative effect as well by trying to just do too much.
Yeah,
and you get your players like Gavi today. He's just done his ACL. You've seen that, the Barcelona player. He's just done his ACL. He's just 18, 19 years old. He's out for 7 or 8 months. But the amount of games he's been playing for Barca and Spain at that age, it's like his knees are going to like turn to dust by the end of his life.
I think it was like the end of last season. They said he played like some ridiculous amount of games consecutive. Didn't miss a minute.
Yeah, that was Pedri, wasn't it? A couple of years
ago.
ago.
Was that Pedri?
Yeah, that was Pedri. He played a full league season, played for Spain, and then he played for Spain in the Olympics as well. And there's that photo of him when he's standing and he's got like bags down there. Like, Keezer looks like he's been held hostage just to play footy. and then Barca were like, we'll give you a month off, and he was like, no, I'll just take 2 weeks off and then come back in for pre-season.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, Keezer, mate, take a break.
I know, mate. He does it, but then it comes to the point where. So first of all, does it need to change? It probably does. But then how do you change it? Do you just cut out some of the international breaks? Do you just give certain players a couple more weeks off during the season or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I think I saw something on Twitter about like international friendlies just being scrapped. That I think is something that needs to just go. Like qualifiers, I understand, because obviously you need the World Cup and the Euros to happen, but then random friendlies, they don't need to be happening. And also like maybe just condensing the qualifiers to like one qualifier per year, if that makes sense. But you just play like 4 or 5 games instead of just the 2.
Yeah. So you just do it all in one little period, and then that's done.
Yeah, they get a break after it, return back to the Prem action or club action. But like again, the Prem starts September, is it, or something like that? August.
Yeah, August.
And then it ends in like May time, June time. Like they've even got a month off. Like you can't condense that anymore because we already play like 5 times over Christmas. Like,
I know. So maybe it's a question of like more subs, bigger squads. But then I don't want it to get like NFL where it's like one team's playing fucking one half and then one team's playing another.
I think what we've done with subs is enough, like 5 max. But times it stays at 3 different times, but 5 max. I think that's enough because, like you said, it could get silly. But like the teams with too much money, like City, they could have 2 squads at 45 each.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't even be surprised if managers would start doing that and just be like, right, you're playing 45, you're playing 45. And it's like, I don't know, mate. I don't. It's just tough, and it's a tough way to work your way around it. There's just not enough time.
Yeah, you're right. It's probably just got to knock a couple of the friendlies on the head and then just do all your prep like a couple of weeks before the Euros or the World Cup. Like have them together for a couple of weeks, and that could be your prep.
Exactly. That's what I feel like it should be like anyway.
Yeah. Right, Cal. We'll leave that. We'll leave the Prem talk. Actually, we'll give our predictions for next week's Prem games this week coming up.
Cool.
By the way, current standings. You got 1 point last week. I got 0, and Ollie got 4. He got a correct score.
Is he in the lead?
No. So you're on 15 still. Ollie's on 14, 1 behind you.
Good.
And then I'm on 11. So.
All right. At least I'm pouring away from you. That's all I care about.
Yeah, squeaky bum time for me, mate. I'm in trouble. But so we got 4 games for the weekend coming up. First game, City versus Liverpool, big one. I think it's the early kickoff.
At City.
At City, yeah.
2-1 City.
2-1 City, yeah. I'm going to go 3-1 City. I can see City definitely winning, but I can also see Liverpool scoring. So
yeah, I think Salah's been on fire. Salah's been on fire, and it goes under the radar just because how good he always is. But is Haaland injured? Is he missing it out? Is he missed out the Norway game? Is he back for? I don't know. Who knows?
I don't even think it matters really. I think they've got enough backup without him, haven't they?
And when you take Haaland out, they become even more of a footballing team. Like,
exactly that.
Yeah, I just think City are the best team in the world at the moment. I fucking hate to say it as well.
All right, we'll leave that. We'll go Luton Palace. at her Luton at home.
See, I backed Palace the other week because I thought they would keep a clean sheet, but then they shipped 2 at home. So I'm going to go. Oh no, I'm going to go 0-0.
0-0, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go 0-0. Reason because Luton are good at set pieces, but so are Palace. So but it's just going to be a horrible game to watch.
I think it is. I can see Palace scoring though. I'm actually going to go 2-0 Palace.
Nice.
I don't know why. I'm just feeling that. Got a little feeling. Spurs Villa. Spurs at home, obviously, still got their injuries and some suspensions. I'll go first. Spurs Villa, I think, is going to be a 2-2 draw.
I was going to say that, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to go 3-2 Spurs.
Yeah, I think there will be goals at Spurs. Spurs will kick on.
I think there will be goals because both teams can score, but also both teams can fucking concede as well.
Yeah, especially with Spurs' new fucking under 23 defence.
Exactly. Spurs have got to go into the resis, but yeah, I think there'll be goals in that one. I think it'll be a good game, actually. I might have to.
Yeah.
That's 3 o'clock.
No, that might be Sunday, though.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll definitely watch that one.
What would you go 3-2?
3-2 Spurs because it's at home.
Spurs,
if it was, I was going to say Villa would win that, but because they're home record.
3-2 Spurs. Lovely. Last game, Fulham Wolves. I think this is the Monday night kickoff. Fulham are at home.
What an exciting one.
Yeah. Looking forward to this one.
Fulham.
I think Wolves do them.
1-0 Wolves.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to join you. 1-0 Wolves. Fulham, they're a bit boring, aren't they?
I don't think there's nothing exciting about in this season. And losing Mitrovic is a killer for them. He was their go-to man, and now he's gone. I don't see consistent goals from anyone. Wolves are a threat.
Yeah, mate. Gary O'Neill masterclass. Hit him on the counter. I love him, mate. I think he's decent.
Yeah, he's a good gaffer. So 1-0.
Nice, mate. Okay, well, we'll see how they get on. We'll catch up in a couple of weeks' time. Hopefully, Ollie's back on then. He weren't available today. But yeah, thanks for coming on, mate. And I'll speak to you in 2 weeks, yeah?
Yeah, thanks for having me, mate. Always good.
Nice one. See ya.
See you later.
Yes, guys, thanks for watching this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, could you please follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel? It massively helps us out.